everybody? This is your boy DJ Cyclops here with Hicks Cartel Radio. And on this lovely evening, we have the wonderful, amazing, talented Miss Tiffany Jaye in the building with us tonight. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? I am Miss Tiffany Jaye. I've been doing music for a significant amount of time. I feel like I'm a veteran in the game, even though many people are still finding out about me. I'm just happy to be here, and I'm glad to have met you in person. Because a lot of people, their names get thrown around the Fleet DJ. So I'm glad to have met you in person. We've established a rapport, and yeah.
Yes, because I missed you at the Big Fleet conference, but when we came to Dallas, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I meet her and everybody else from the 646 group.
Right.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was cool. I love all y'all energy and
Thank you.
everything. So we're gonna dive right into it. And like I told you before, we're gonna dig deep inside the life of Tiffany Jaye. That's
Okay.
what. So tell me, how did you get to this point? What was your journey like growing up? Was your motivation always to do in being in the entertainment industry? How was that growing up?
I feel like music was something that came, or singing, I would say, is something that came natural. And so it wasn't necessarily a thought of this is what I want to do. It was just something that I just did. And then when I realized, after looking at, let's say, Boyz II Men, Mariah Carey, Brandy, Monica and them, and Whitney, I was like, if they can do it, it should be simple, right? But getting into the industry is just as difficult, or in the same caliber as like trying to be in the pros as far as for football or basketball, or baseball. So not really recognizing that until of age 16, I got an opportunity to go to a major label, and the feedback was personality. Today, you would say, oh my gosh, she's got like the total package, but it has taken time to get to this point. So I've learned, and from that feedback, which it was kind of like a personal blow, I felt like, because of how I grew up and it wasn't something that I could necessarily control, I took that as my mission, and every single everything that I encountered was so that whenever I was placed in front of an A&R or anybody again, they would not tell me at least that the personality is off. So that's what I had been working on ever since. So music is um it's easy and it's difficult. I think the music part sometimes is the easy part, but the business of the music is what's trying, and what a lot of people find that if you don't have your business in order, you can always drop a song and it can, go viral. But if your business isn't in order, you're not able to actually see the residuals like you want.
Okay. So I know, like you said, getting into the music industry is almost like the pros. And I think, like shows like Making a Band and
Mm-hmm.
the rap game showed like the ins and outs behind the scenes of trying to make it in this industry. So I know you said you had the opportunity to sign with a major label at 16. So
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like that was a opportunity, like you said, an opportunity for you to grow into what you are today? Or was it like, okay, like you said, a blow to, because some people will be like, okay, maybe this is not for me. And then some
Well,
people,
yeah, right. I thought that. I think initially I thought that, and the A&R, her name was Michelle, I believe. And she was saying, maybe go to college for a year, come back, whatever. And I kind of had one of those come to Jesus moments, and I was thinking like, oh, I was just so upset with myself. And I just felt like God was saying, you can still sing. She didn't tell you that you can't sing. So sing, that's what you'll do. Go to school, and then we'll continue. Um, I felt like it was a just more so an attack on my personality, because I didn't know how to be what they were asking me to be. I didn't know what that looked like. And of course, when you're 16, same thing like when Justin Bieber came into the game, like he got a lot of, like everybody was coming for him. But it's just like anything else with a job. They expect you to just about know everything, and you're still a child. You don't fully develop or mature till you're about like 25 years old, So I took time to develop, grow. I got another chance in 2018, which was a few years ago. We went to Atlantic and everything was perfect except the marketing, right? And so I went back to the drawing board and I'm trying to figure out what is it that I need to do. I went and took some makeup classes, got some choreo classes. That's where Work For It came from. The song that everybody loves. That was like my debut as Tiffany Jaye. So we revamped myself as far as branding is concerned. And then I believe we linked up with Jay from Hype Magazine. And then we stumbled upon one of the calls, the Fleet DJ calls. And that's how I ran into T Quest. And then I've been linking up with her, going to like the little teen conferences and showing up here and there to the Zooms, because that's when, you know, the coronavirus, you know, just started. So we weren't able to link up. Right. And then all the way up, I think it was about like maybe 2 years, all the way up until July the 9th of last year when they had the conference. And that's when we actually met everybody in person. So that was great. It was good to have connected with just one person. It's so interesting when you keep that one relationship and how it opens up to everyone else. So I believe I don't take it as a blow as 16. Neil and I, you know, Neil, who's, you know, over 646 Entertainment. I talked to him and I was like, you know, if you don't want to work with me anymore, it's cool. I understand. And he was like, no, it's an investment. And nobody does that. You know what I mean? So I said, okay, I'm going to take some time to dig deep into myself, make sure that I stick with this guy, and we're going to learn, we're going to grow, and we're going to be better every single step of the way. I take it that each year that I'm in this industry, each year that I'm alive, the goal is to be better than the year before. And I can definitely attest that every year is better. There are different things that we work on. We may put out different songs. We may tweak a few things, personality wise, branding wise, video wise. I may meet new people. But each year is definitely like Fleet DJs. Like, come on, this is a whole coalition of people across the planet that I never even knew existed. And so we have these connections. It's just every day, every year is a growth, is a journey. So I'm definitely thankful for it.
Nice, nice. So I want to go back to, I know you said you started at 16.
I did.
Um, you know how the I would say the actors and actresses starting young, they feel that pressure and it's stress, and then growing up it's even harder. Did you have to go through that as a in the music growing up?
It is a constant. I'm going through that. I went through it then and I'm still going through it now. I have my therapy session on Friday and we're going to be talking about this. So, like as a young adult, a kid, I was going to church at least 3 times out the week. I was in international baccalaureate programs or classes, AP classes. So I'm getting up at 5, getting to school by 7, having my extracurricular, whether it's track, marching band, gospel choir, staying until 5 o'clock. My mom's picking me up. We go to church, come back home, dishes, homework, trying to sleep, then basically getting right back up at 5 a.m., riding the bus, reading on the way, not finishing homework up basically up until it's time to turn it in. So that type of multitasking, I've been doing that constantly. I mastered it in college. And now it's not necessarily about, because some people they call, it's a simple like a BS, to comply with whatever it is necessary. Right now, it's about like really pacing yourself and managing. I was talking on my podcast a while back and I was saying how I'm used to, if I do things at the last minute, I'm used to going 100 miles an hour. But as you get older and the longer that you live, you can't continuously go 100 miles an hour. You're going to burn your car out if you push the gas like that quicker, versus just being on cruise control. And so if you pace yourself, you can at least see, okay, there's a gas station. There's somewhere where I can replenish. There's somewhere where I can sit, speak to somebody, take a pit stop, get something to eat. You know what I mean? Those type of things. So that's what I'm learning now. I need to sit and create like a structure for myself, which is what I had, which is what I had back then and what I appreciated. I don't have that now. When you're in school, you have a curriculum and you know what you're supposed to do. As an adult, you kind of create your own. And so if you have your 9-to-5 job that you go to, that's kind of like the only thing that's really holding me accountable. Music, like nobody's making me do it, but me. I mean, Neil is there, but it's still my career. You know what I mean? So it's up to me to show up here on time for the Zoom. It's up to me to say, okay, I want to invest into my music and handle my social media and stuff like that. So what I want to do going into 2022 is I want to create a structure for myself. It's for me, like personal, so that I can really stay on top of the game and I can pace myself um, and be even better than I was in the past.
Okay, okay. Um, so I know with excuse my voice.
It's
Uh,
okay.
so with like you said, going 100 miles an hour,
Right.
where do you say, okay, we're gonna stop? We're going to we're going to plan everything out. Um, because I know we talked.
I know. All
I'll be
throughout the
like,
day. And you trying to
yes,
figure out, when do you sleep?
yes, yes. So when do you say, okay, this is it? This is where I'm gonna stop. This is where I'm gonna take care of myself and do stuff like that.
I believe, like, I know my work schedule, let's say 3 weeks in advance, right? And so as long as I have that, I can kind of plan everything, I can put it in. But what has really been a game changer is when I had my surgery last year, I really had to listen, like, to my body. And so when you're talking about when do you do that, yesterday had a DM meeting. I was overwhelmed, and I told my store manager, because I think I had texted you and you were asking me, do you want to talk on the phone? And I was just like, I'm overwhelmed. It's just basically acknowledging and not neglecting yourself. I think that's really what it is. I used to neglect myself all the time. Simple things like getting something to drink, go to the bathroom, getting food. So it's basically paying attention to your basic needs so that you can function and be for other people. I think that's really what it is for me. That's the difference, which I wasn't doing before. So doing that and integrating that into your schedule and just shutting it down. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on. You need to shut it down and let the people around you know, look, I'm doing this. I'll be back at this time, or I really need to regroup. Do you mind? Is that okay? And if they don't, then if they don't care, they don't really care about you. And that's a problem. Then you need to reevaluate your circle. So I'm still trying to figure out, when, let's say, like, tomorrow I work a half day, I'll definitely be breaking it down and resting. The times where you don't see me online, that's when I'm recharging and I'm pulling back into myself. If that answers your question. When I'm up, and I try to make it a point that I respond when I'm in a good place. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Because it's not healthy to, I guess, be frustrated and aggravated, and then I'm sure you could sense the energy that's coming through the text, or so I make sure, if I'm not in a good space, then I don't need to be speaking to anyone until I'm where I need to be.
And it's so weird that you say that because I had a conversation with my cousin probably like 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, it's not that I'm ignoring your phone calls. It's just I have to be mentally ready to talk,
Exactly.
because
Mm-hmm.
if you're not mentally ready to talk, you don't know what's going to happen. So, it's just, um, and like I told you earlier, I said, if a normal person would be like, okay, hey, but we're not normal
We're
because
not. I have a friend, she goes to bed by 9 o'clock, like when the sun goes down. And I'm like, yo, I'm just now leaving such and
Mhm.
such, and I'm about to go do this and do this. And so I was just like, we just live two different lives. And I just have to accept that. Like, it's okay. So it's good to meet people like you, to know that I'm not in this by myself. I'm not crazy. Doing what I'm doing, being up at all hours of the day, at the night, as long as I get my rest in. Now you're gonna be mad. I gotta get my charger. That was the one thing I didn't do. My computer's on 29%. So
Yeah, yeah.
be talking. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, all right. So yeah, it's just me growing up doing music as well. I see the part of, okay, we got to stay up all these hours putting in this work, and you are neglecting yourself from food, uh the everyday necessities, because you're like, okay, this is my dream, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to do it, and this is my time frame of doing it, to where it's like, okay, now you're like, I ain't gonna say my age, but the age that I'm at now, uh, I'm like, okay, it's time for to kind of relax and let the course play itself. So that's where I'm at, and I feel like that's where you're at right now as well. Um, so let's talk about Tiffany Jaye, the non-artist,
Ooh.
the non-artist. Let's dig deep into that. Like, what's what's going on with Tiffany Jaye, the non-artist?
I wonder what that consists of because I feel like every single component of who I am is the artist. Like even at my job, that doesn't, is not consistent of work. Is I'm still like artsy at work. Mm, maybe it's things that people don't know about me artistically, perhaps,
Yes,
or
yes,
um, when I'm not singing, dancing, doing podcast stuff or artwork, I really enjoy my personal time. And um, that's just kind of sitting with my dog or just sitting by myself. I just posted a thing about creators need to basically sit and do nothing and just being still, watching some of my favorite shows, just a nostalgic kind of thing. That's really it. Just sitting. When it gets warmer out, I love like eating outside, going to the park, walking, those type of things, riding my bike. Um, just enjoying the essence of life.
gotcha. Shouts out to Coco. What? Shouts
Yes.
out to Coco. Like, if y'all not following Tiffany J on Instagram or Facebook, Coco is like a star on social media. Like,
She's everything. And so I don't know if you guys can see. I'll have to show it to you. I'll send you a picture, but it is a picture of her on here and it has her name on it. So I made sure I got that. I think with that I feel complete. And whenever she does pass, because she's a 12-year-old senior dog, if you guys don't know, and she has a heart murmur for at least for the last 5 years. She's on medicine. She's also got this abscess or fluid buildup going on in her stomach right now. I don't know. So right now, I mean, she's pretty upbeat. She's very aware of everything that's going on. And I was originally going to schedule a euthanasia on the 27th of December, 2 days after Christmas. And it just kind of didn't sit well with me. It just didn't make sense. And this was before I went down to Texas the second time. Right. And so I just canceled the appointment because I was just like, I feel like I'm killing her when she could just be living just to live. I don't think she's ready to die yet. It'd be different if she couldn't walk or whatever, but she's still eating. She still has life left. So it's not time. And I think it'll be too soon. So I
yeah,
couldn't do that.
Coco is living her best life right now. Yeah.
Yeah, she is on my bed and everything.
So, okay, so let's talk about the podcasts. You know,
Ooh.
yeah, let's dig into the podcast. Tell
Okay.
everybody what your podcast is about. Mm.
Um, it's called 10 Minutes with Tiffany Jaye. It's confident, vibrant, and quirky. I'll say this is 10 Minutes with Tiffany Jaye, featuring the inside scoop of her mind, inside thoughts and opinions, the day in the life of an upcoming artist, a 9 to 5, and how I juggle the world around me. That's basically what it's about. And it's just, you might hear me in my car. You might hear me talking about um hey guys, just smile. Whatever it is that you got to do, just make sure that you smile through everything. No one can tell what you're thinking if you smile, like things like that. Whatever you would put in a blog, it's probably the verbal interaction that you would hear. So if you need something positive, it's just a 10-minute session that you and I are having. If you're a fan of me and if you want to know what I'm thinking, sometimes like I have people that don't live here in Charlotte anymore that I've connected with. Got a friend that I've known for plus 10 years. She's in Saudi Arabia. I've got people that I've worked with that live in California that are in Australia. So like when I want to talk to my friends, but I can't like grab everybody on the phone or send a text out, it's kind of like that conversation that I would love to have with them, but I would do it through my podcast and anybody else that's willing to listen. So that's kind of what I use it for. I also use it as a form of therapy to get my thoughts out. And it makes me feel better. Like if I don't have certain people to talk to, I'll just use that and just get out into the atmosphere. And then I may listen to it again to make sure I'm like, okay, what did you say the last time? Make sure that you're listening to what you said. so that you can be a better person. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because some of I listen to some of the podcasts, and they're very motivational,
Thank you.
but they're very motivational. But then I listened to the one from Texas Fleet Week. It was some good stuff. It was some
It
good.
was hilarious. Did you
Yes,
hear us in the car?
yes, it was.
So okay. So those the podcast also is it's like because I still haven't done the one from the second week in Texas. So the podcast also is about motivational things, but it's about the journey. And I want to take you with me, right? So if you weren't there, or if you're like, oh my gosh, what happens when Tiffany gets off the stage? What is she thinking? Like, I want to be able to share those high moments, those low moments. And so we were in the car just having a blast, and I was just like, this is a great inside moment. If you don't know who these other artists are, Lil Bay, FR Shouty, Lolo, Snatch the Snail, Matt, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know who these people are, you can have an inside, like you were in the car with us, just cackling and having a good time. So I thought that was just a precious moment. And when I'm down, I go back to that episode and I listen to it and I just laugh because it's so hilarious.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I was like, and I was upset because I wanted more.
I
Like,
know. And it's so, and that's the thing. A lot of times it's hard to be an artist and you're kind of like on both sides of the camera. So I hope and pray that I eventually can have like a personal assistant that can also document my life, because I don't want to um, be so ingrained into putting it on social media that I actually forget to live in the moment. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So a lot of those happens like just in the moment stuff. And so I think this year I'm going to try to figure out how to like weave those together and be able to showcase it more so you can feel like you're there. And then of course private moments are to myself, but then whatever I want to share is what I want to share. So I will try my best to give you more. What are your I'm got a question for you. So what are your thoughts on, I guess, outside looking in, because we haven't been able to really talk about it. Like, what are your thoughts just outside looking in, just taking a listen to see what is she talking about? What is this? Like, what's your feel, your take on it?
So when my first episode I heard was Texas Fleet. So,
Okay.
I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, I like how it's like basically the day in the life of Tiffany Jaye. That's
Yeah.
how I looked at it. And then, like you said, it is some of the motivational podcasts is on there as well. So, you have some podcasts is just one strict groove way they do
Right.
it, and then you have some podcasts is just everywhere. But I feel like you're not everywhere, but you're not one strict way. You're like in between to where it's like you get kind of both. You get everyday life, but you
Mm-hmm.
still get it motivational like you need, because like you said, you never know what people are going through.
Right.
And I'm just gonna say your energy in person is phenomenal. Like you have got great energy,
Thank you.
and with the podcast, you're sharing that energy with others. Like you said, that can't be always around you, and
Exactly.
some people might need that. Like you never, like I said, you never know what people are going through because they don't speak. For us, especially our age, I ain't gonna say our age, but our
It's
age,
okay.
we don't speak on stuff. So just listening to somebody that's going through something else and uplifting them at the same time is very
Right.
beneficial. You know, I know, like you said, you have, you know, therapy sessions. Like
Mm-hmm.
some people don't believe in going to therapy, like uh it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
It's not. It's a
That's
great sounding board.
it is. It is. And then I'll say for myself, I've gone through therapy, and I just feel like my therapy comes from what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Is the music, the DJ, the interviews. That's my therapy because I could relax. I don't have to stress about anything, this is my domain, you know,
Good.
and especially like with my music. That's basically me writing down all my feelings. That's
And just
all.
getting it out.
Exactly. Some songs I don't re-release because I don't want the world to know.
Mm.
But like I said, you never know what you're going through. Well, another person's going through. So just by your podcast is benefiting others. And that's why I asked you. I say, hey, do you want your podcast on the station?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you never know
You never
how
know who's listening, and
exactly.
that one person. I think it also, when you asked me what does Tiffany J do when she's not like Tiffany J, like that's my podcast and my art. Outside of music, there's a, well, in music, sorry, there's a structure, right? There's a way that you should do things, and there's a way that you should do anything. But
Yeah.
I think my podcast, I can take that wherever I want to take it, just like I can take my notebook or a journal, and just have it in my bag and just take it out whenever I feel, like you were talking about with the therapy. And if I just want to like just disappear and go somewhere else, I can do that. I can draw something, a 2 minute sketch, a 5 minute sketch, and just go really, really deep into that. If I have a thought in my mind, I talk out loud sometimes. So if I catch myself continuously doing that, I'm like, you know what, whatever I'm thinking about, I think it's time to start sharing that. So I need to get it. I just need these other avenues. Sometimes I'm not saying that music doesn't do it for me all the time, but I do so many things. You discovered, I'm editing videos,
Mm,
and it's, I can't, on the way home today, I was just like, whatever it is that you do, don't let anyone tell you that you're doing too much. Like, if you can do it, do it. Like, you're blessed to be able to do it. Some people can't. So I just, if I can just, like, just explode and pop like I would, that's with the energy that you feel in person. Like, that's
yeah.
sometimes what it feels like that I want to do. And sometimes it's contained. And so I just need different things, different ways to channel it. And the podcast gives me an ability to do that in a very healthy way. And I have about like 94 episodes that you could listen to, and they just keep on and just keep on going. And so it's very therapeutic. I'm going to continue to do it. There's no structure, there's no schedule, necessarily. So I'm not pressed to do it one way. Now I'm sure, let's say later in life, more fans, I'm sure people will try to capitalize on it. We'll see where that goes. But I want to be able to dictate that. You know what I mean? Um, as far as like when you have major labels, I want to be able to, there's certain things I want for myself. Like, I want my art for myself, and I want at least my podcast for myself. I understand music will have to go one way or the other as
Yeah.
far as for marketing, but those are the things that I want to be able to keep solely for me.
Yeah, because at some point you have to say, where am I staying true to myself? You know.
Exactly.
Um, so let me ask you this: if it wasn't music, dancing, art, everything that you do now, what would Tiffany J be doing?
That's hard to ask because I was doing this since birth. Um, when the way I hear you saying it is if you couldn't do it, because yeah, so if I couldn't, these are some random thoughts and dreams: an astronaut, an
Okay.
architect, um, some sort of a scientist. Definitely an architect was the first thing, but when I realized you had to go through a lot of math, and I think I went to like
Mhm.
calculus 3 or something like that, I was just like, okay, I can't. So probably just that, an astronaut, and what I say, architect.
Okay.
I would like to see what space is like
Okay. Okay. Okay.
and design
So
houses, buildings.
gotcha. So I know you say you went to college. So did you go to school for music?
I tried. So I went to UNC in Greensboro, and I did try to go to the School of Music. They are it's a very classically trained school. And I went to get like a vocal coach for my church, and we sang Summertime, and everything was fine as far as the performance, the audition. But then they do a separate interview, and they just try to see more about you and if the program is a good fit. I told them I wanted to be a professional entertainer, and I wanted to know my fundamentals as far as with singing. they told me that I should go to Fisk University, which is HBCU. And I was like, okay. I was just like, all right, but I want to, so I don't know if that was a color thing or what. I don't know what it was,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah. So I was like, well, I'm here now. I'm accepted to this school now. And I just wanted to learn the fundamentals. So that didn't work. I didn't get in there. And I basically majored in art. I have a BFA in art design, and that's where you get the photography, the videography, the editing, graphic design, like all of that. And so I didn't let that stop me. I knew that I'm gonna keep saying that I was taught by Whitney and Mariah. You know what I'm saying? And I have great ears, so I know if I sound like them, I'm fine. And so I knew I had that. I felt like a self training or a self taught kind of thing. Now I need to couple that with the visuals. And then now I don't have to necessarily pay somebody to do graphics. I could do my own photography, but it's best you get somebody to do the photography, and then I can make up the graphics as far as, let's say, calling me that you guys have received or work for it. I can put that together, and I know the ins and outs of it. So when I establish my creative team, I can say, that looks good. I agree with this, or let's fix this, here and there. And that was the reason why I wanted to do that. Everything, like I said, since 16, everything has been focused around, if you have your own company, if you were able to get into this position again, every aspect of your life has to pinpoint to that direction so that you can be ready and nobody can tell you no, because you have all the skills to do so. So I was going to do music, didn't work. I tried to do dance to get back into that because I actually started um, at the Boys Harbor in New York with modern, tap, and jazz, and ballet. So I did those four, and I actually performed at the Lincoln Center when I was young, and then we moved down here to North Carolina. There wasn't that many opportunities, or they just cost too much out the wazoo. So I was reintroduced into dance via the marching band as a dance girl, and that is where you may see some of the styles as far as if I'm moving. That's also ingrained. So as you see, it's you ask me if I wasn't doing these things, what would I do? But I'm constantly, it's like a magnet. It just draws you in. You can't get away from it,
Gotcha.
So
So
yeah.
let me. All right. So I want to highlight a situation that you were in. Um, if I remember correctly, you opened up for Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Yes, that was cool. That was my first, this is the big stage. Oh, you want me to? Okay, okay. So,
I was like, okay, okay, keep
I'm
going.
sorry, because I know ask me something. But yeah, so it was at the Bojangles Coliseum, and I know Tonex was the host. There was at least like 500 people or so there in the audience, and that was the first time you step on a major platform like that with all of the the accolades that you're supposed to get. It's just like it's like nothing else, you know what I mean? And so after that I was like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Now there was a bit of drama. They cut my set short because I was doing very well, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
that kind of thing. That's happened when you're really good at what you do. Sometimes you get slighted and it doesn't make any sense. I had a situation where it was a 2017. I went to the CIAA Sing Out Loud competition. And obviously, if I haven't made it, I'm constantly trying to find ways to make it, or at least,
Mhm.
let me enter into this, let me do that. And so I sang Mariah Carey's Hero and I sang Stephanie Mills' Home. And your first song you sing with the track, if you make it, so there's 10 of us, and then they eliminate down to 5, and then they eliminate down to 3, and then after the 3 they pick whoever wins, right? But
Yeah.
at least the last 3 they get to win money, all 3 of them. So I got to the second round and we got to sing with a live band. It was amazing. And of course, there was me and this other guy. Doesn't matter what his name is, but I do know who he is. And obviously, we were the best two. So you would assume that us two would at least move on out of the 5. What they did was they tied both of us and they bumped me out, basically. They said we had to sing our song from the previous night and then they were going to vote, and then I was eliminated. And I was like, that's weird. So then at the end of the evening, so I didn't get to go to round three. At the end of the evening, I asked the judge, I was like, so what happened? I was just wondering, what's your feedback? Let me know if there's anything I can work on. And she was just like, you seem like too big for the stage. She was like, what are you doing here? Like, you need to be somewhere like, like a Broadway or something. And I was just like, so are you telling me that y'all basically kind of kicked me out because I'm not supposed to be here or what? Like, I'm trying to win just like everybody else,
Yeah.
So it was a bummer. And you go through those moments. You don't let them get to you, but you take them as like, okay, that is a testament that you are actually as good as you are, but you have to find another avenue. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
sometimes I did that. I did America's Got Talent. Um, I did Coast to Coast. There's just sorry, my dog is barking in the background. I apologize, but there's several things that I've done, and you just got to figure out what is it that will get you to that next stage, the next level.
Okay.
I would
Okay.
say the Frankie Beverly and Maze, just to piggyback again, was like that's why everybody gets the bug. Like when you're be on a stage, but not that type of stage.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So you said something in that story that stood out to me. Um, as an artist myself,
Uh-huh.
um, there's a different presence when you have a band compared to
Yes.
a track. How
Yes.
how is that for you? Like, some people don't like bands. Like, I'll be like, why? Like the energy level is so high when you have a band because you
Mm-hmm.
feel it more. So for you, how is do you rather would you rather perform with a band or the track?
I've done both. I think they're called the Soulful Sounds in Albany, Georgia. I've got to play with them. With the band, you get to manipulate your show. Um, unless it's a show that's set with a time. You know what I mean? Like you gotta
Yeah.
hit your points and things like that. But if it's just one of those intimate settings, you can really do what you want to do. You've got all the instrumentation at your disposal, and you can, stop and say, keys, go on, do this, drums, da, 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 let's take this break. Then we about to, go out to the audience and let me talk to you for a minute. So it's really exciting because you can really improv. And I'm not that good at that, but the more that I do this, the better that I become, and the more that you get to blossom and just explore like areas of yourself, areas of the music, areas of the band. You don't have to sing the song the same way. Neil always says like the song is never really complete. Like that's just the studio version. This
Yeah.
could be the live version in Charlotte, or this was the live version in Hawaii. You know what I mean? Like there are different versions, and that's what people come to see. They want to be in the moment. Did you see her here? Did you see her there? Nah, but did you see her at this location? You know what I mean? But you always got the studio album at least that people are using as a standard or a mark. You have all the tools that you need to perfect the voice. Um, but if you can make that live performance larger than life, you can't always do that with a track. Now I know they mix the two sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know what I mean? But when you have a live band, one of my favorite shows to watch is Janet Jackson, the All For You tour in Hawaii. Watching that on DVD, and she had a live band there, and I just think it's phenomenal because everybody is involved in the show. It's not just her. It's her dancers, it's the band members, everybody's dressed, everybody's having a good time. Like that's amazing. And then let's say Coachella with Beyonce. She had
I was just about
a
to say that.
a freaking entire marching band. So there's so many things that you can do. The music is not just confined within the voice. The music is the entire experience. And then you can even when people do their call and responses, like with the audience, we be all night. Then she goes to the audience, and then they say, this
Yeah.
it's amazing.
And it's weird because the first time I actually did it with like performed with a band, I didn't know how it was going to play out. But a lot of people were like, you should have your own band because you have a whole different presence when you come onto the stage because you're in control of what
Yes.
you want to do. And I guess because me being in a band, like I was in orchestra band in high school.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was on percussions. So,
Nice.
me having that background and then me having the sense of direction being a choir director in high school as well. So I was like, okay, here, boom.
Right.
So
These are your hits. These are your
yeah,
breaks. We about to do this.
exactly. So, going into my album, I was like, you know what? I want to do half studio and half live. And that's what I
Yes.
did. I took my whole band, went to the studio, and that energy just from
Let
the
me close my door. My uncle just came in. Hold on a second. I'm so sorry.
okay.
I apologize. I'm back. He gonna be
Oh
talking
no,
about
you
dogs and
good.
singing to them and everything.
uh nah, like that energy just recording live is wonderful. Like,
It's like none other.
yeah, like and the thing is if you mess up, it'll
Nobody knows.
yeah, exactly.
Well, the
So
audience doesn't know. You know what I mean? And you can always recover.
yeah, exactly. But um, like I said, there's a lot of artists that don't like doing bands, and I don't understand why because it's wonderful.
I think the improvisation is lost in today's time, and there's a I would say maybe like a culture shift. You got some lip syncing going on. You have
Mhm.
the essence of what it takes to be a performer is lost. And I think people, because we have our phones and they think, oh, I can just do a reel really quick and just kind of sing along with the song, like that's all that it takes. But Neil would always say, um, running is a great exercise to do because doing, like, let's say like a 3 to 4 minute song is like running a 40-yard dash, right? Because if you do it hard the whole way as you should, and you should pace yourself, that's what it's going to feel like. Now imagine, so that's only one song. So let's say most people, when they break out with their debut, they're opening that one song for, let's say, BET, VMAs, or whatever, right? But now if it's your concert, that's an hour and a half, two
Mhm,
hours.
mhm.
Now you're not singing the whole time because you got breaks and costume changes and whatnot and people opening for you. But can you imagine? Can you do that? And this is, let's say, a 2 month, 3 month kind of tour or whatever, back to back to back. That, as a performer, you're an athlete, you know?
Yeah,
And I don't think people think like that. It's all about, oh, money, cars, what I can get. But if you take care of your body the way that you're supposed to, you can have the longevity of the Frankie Beverly and Mays. The do you remember the 20
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
thank you. It was on, you know what I'm saying? Like, because somebody was just talking about them touring and how it costs a lot of money. So, you can have the longevity of them, and I don't know if we think long term anymore. Your
Mm-mm.
money's going to come from your concerts. Now I know things are different and they're weird right now as far as the state of the world,
Yeah,
but it's when our great leaders die, like your Princes, your Michaels, your Bob Saget's, your Maya Angelou's, your, what I'm saying, your Cicely Tyson's, like when these people pass away, you don't have access to them anymore. You only have access to what you can see like online. So it's precious to be able to get out and get in front of people. Hence, going back to all of these, this is your podcast, this is your art. So I think after a certain time, I would say as of recent, I've been saying to myself, stop being afraid to put yourself out there. Because if I was taken away tonight, tomorrow, or whatever, now all that you guys have is whatever you have, you know? So why don't I just put out as much of me as I can and just do it in love and enjoy until I die?
gotcha. And like you said, it's a. I didn't realize going into the industry, like you said, you have to make sure your body's taken care of, and you're getting your cardio in because, like you said, you got a 3 minute, 4 minute song. like you said, it's like a 40,
Mm-hmm.
40-yard dash.
It
And
is.
like when I did my like before I did my concert in 2014,
Mm-hmm.
I was just, doing, like one or two songs for different programs. Cool. I was
Right,
good.
right.
Doing a concert, oh yo, like that's a whole different ball game. And I was like, okay. Um, I had my management team.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, they're like, okay, you gotta work out. I was like, I don't want to
Yeah.
work. Like,
But you have to, because it's a part
exactly.
of it.
And so, I always like I brought this up earlier, making a band. I was a big fan of making band. I don't know why I was like just to see the
It's fascinating to watch them,
yes, and I was like, okay, they're working out. Okay,
So
I guess I need to work out too. If Diggy got them working out, walking all the way to Brooklyn for some cheesecake, then I guess I need to walk too somewhere. So yeah, I was just like, okay, let me start preparing my body for everything that's about to
yes.
happen. And it like I said, I tell artists that are coming up, I said, if you're not taking care of your body, you're not gonna last too long.
You're not gonna make it.
And I've helped artists here, and they're like, "Well, I don't want to give this up." Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I can try to help you as much as I can, but until you
Mm-hmm.
want it for yourself, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
um, now like I'm starting to get back into my workouts
Very
slowly but
good.
surely, because I'm getting back into my music now. So it's just like, okay, I gotta get my body right and whatnot. Um, so what's next for Tiffany J?
What I want to do is come up with a video for Calling Me. I have another song that's just been waiting, just sitting, waiting. I have a featured rapper, a good friend of mine, and the song is called First Time. And so I want to put that out. My goal is I want to put them out at the same time, meaning release both videos and then drop the new single. But you'll have like, oh my gosh, she came with this, she came with that. Like, oh, so you have excellent content. That's the goal. I'm trying to acquire a gimbal. I have somebody who has a gimbal, so I could like use theirs, but just finding the right person to shoot it and then also coming up with a concept. And then the new single I was saying called First Time, I want that to be a dance, like a dance record. So I got to come up with some choreography. You see me dancing and everything online and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to get ready, get my mind right. What else is next? I believe we're going to be going to South by Southwest. We may not be on the main stages at the festival, but we will be in the building and we will be on somebody's stage.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, we on
so,
somebody's page.
yeah, we'll be on somebody's stage. So it is, as always, it's great to network. I would definitely say that the Fleet DJs, out of everything that I've like been a part of, you guys are one of the most welcoming groups of people that I've come across. Um, well organized, positive. You know what I mean? Sometimes you go places and you can just feel it in the air. Like ain't nobody really trying to talk to you. Ain't nobody really trying to embrace you. Ain't nobody really trying to let you know what you're supposed to be doing. But
Yeah.
you guys aren't like that. And so when you connect with anybody, they're always taking you under their wing and saying, okay, you should work on this, you should work on that. And everybody's uplifting. Nobody's really trying to like say you suck. You know what I'm saying? It's not that type of environment. And so I really appreciate the positive reinforcement. So I want to release more music in the new year. I want to go to South by Southwest. I want to link up with more DJs, be on more of their platforms. Their shows have more standalone radio airplay. Um, Build the brand, expand the fans, and be the best Tiffany and the best Tiffany J that I can be so that I can be an inspiration to others for whoever else is out there that needs it.
Okay, okay. Let me go back to the single first time.
First time. We don't nobody. Okay. So
Um,
what you about to say?
I, because I'm thinking of, I've heard so many songs called First Time. So it's like different concepts. What's the concept behind yours? Because you say it's gonna be
Right.
a dance track. So what's your
It's it's basically it's like love me like it's your first time, and it's just a really nice happy, like one of those spring summer songs. I could see it in like you fresh going getting ready to go to school type of thing, and that's the song that the song of the new year type. So it's just describing hey, come over babe, let me do some things. I know you need the skate boy. Oh, I'm in love with you all day by my side. You got my heart out. Just meeting somebody for the first time, and it's just like, oh, love me like it's your first time. I don't care if I'm your 10th girlfriend or whatever. I want you to make me feel like I'm the very first person that you ever met. Like that's what it's about.
gotcha, gotcha,
Some nice,
gotcha,
wholesome, cute, some cute love.
gotcha. And you know, I was actually gonna ask you to hit a note for us, but you already did that. So
I
thank
already done.
you. Yeah. But um uh I want to go back real quick before we end this. It was a very funny moment that we had at Texas Fleet Week
When was it?
at the daiquiri shop. So I don't know if you remember.
I don't know either. I'm
All
trying to
right,
think.
so we were talking. I came over there. I started talking to y'all, and then I went back over to the front table. I started talking to my mom, who was working at the front door.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what happened. Like I started talking about you. And I was like, yeah, I didn't get to meet her, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if you knew I was talking about you, but from wherever you were at, you like popped up. I was like, did you read
Oh, I
lips?
just happened to come and show up.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
I don't.
like you
It's
reading my
me.
lips and saying my name, saying your name. I was like,
Say
okay.
my name.
Like,
Say my. No, I didn't know. I don't. It was so much going on. I was just having a great time just to be present. And I don't know. I saw you, and I was like, well, let me just come up and see and say, hey.
yeah, I was just like, okay. I was like, all righty then. Well, hey, she's right here. My mom was like, oh, this is Tiffany. I was like, yeah, this is Tiffany right here.
Right.
Yeah. So, but like I said, it's always been a pleasure, just sitting here talking to you this evening. But our off,
Offline
yeah,
conversations.
yeah, like it's like I said, we're not normal, so we'll be up. Like,
Yeah. I'm gonna be up tonight.
yeah, me too. So I got another interview at 9. So
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna
It
be
doesn't stop.
yeah, it don't, and I
And
think
it don't stop.
and, and I think for people like us, I don't know if we wanted to stop though.
No,
That's
because so let me tell you, and I'll try to make it quick. Mind you, I have been up for a long time. Then I went to work and I was like, y'all, I'm tired. I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
oh yeah, I
And
saw the
then,
video. I saw the
right, and then now that I'm getting ready to get off, I'm like, oh, I'm about to be off. So I don't know, it's weird. I can't explain it. What I will say for me is I am an introvert
mm,
and I get my energy from within. So when you ask me what am I doing when I'm not doing music, I'm dipped off somewhere trying to recharge so that I can give you the energy. There's like I said, there's so much and it comes from within, but it doesn't come from outside. And so when I'm giving it to you, I'm giving you like the essence of me, but I gotta go sit down somewhere and recharge. So yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, I think a lot of artists are introverts in their own way
Yeah.
because I know I am. Uh, so like I said, it's been a pleasure sitting down talking to you. And for our listeners, he was our first artist of the week on Hicks Cartel Radio, and both her singles, calling you,
Calling me
calling
and
me,
work for it.
yeah. So are both in rotation on
Thank
air
you.
right now. So y'all can catch her out on the station. And like I said, we thank you for sitting down with us and hope to see what you got coming in the future. And yeah,
Yes. Remember, follow me at Miss Tiffany Jaye. That's MSTIFFANYJAYE. Miss Tiffany
Uh,
Jaye.
all right, all right. And this will conclude our lovely call with Miss Tiffany Jaye. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. Got to hear the little backstories and the ins and outs of the industry, uh, coming from her perspective. So, like I said, we thank y'all. And until next time, we are out. Peace.
Hey, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Wait, hold on.
She didn't say it stopped, so
Wait, I don't think it stopped. Wait, hold on.
there you go. It's still doing it, but she's gonna say recording has ended.